Good morning, movers. Welcome to day 5. Let's say hi to Goose. Ruby's around here somewhere as well, and they're going to be helping us out today. And we're getting about halfway through our power warm-up routine as part of this 30-day challenge. Let's just get everybody tagged so that you can get the notification that we've gone live. As we keep talking about, this first minute or so is just to let everybody get on the call. If you're watching live, when you do get on, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. It helps me keep track of who's coming on so I can get some good feedback and tailor this content to you. And it also helps me hold you accountable. Because you signed up for this 30-day challenge. You said, hey, this is something I want to do. I want to show up and I want to be here all 30 days. And that's why it's a challenge, is to continue to show up every day. And so that's going to help me do that, as well as get the feedback, answer all your questions, and make sure that this content is tailored to your needs. I'm already doing it. It's you that we need to create the habit for. So if you're on here live, go ahead, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Let's just go ahead and tag everybody here. The group's growing, people. It's awesome. We have just about 70 members in the group, which is really great. All right. Let's dive right into it today. So let's recap the first 4 days, and then we're going to get into day 5, something new here. So day 1, we talked about our foot and hand circles. Knee nice and high, grab the forearm, open the hand, spread the toes, and we're going to squeeze our forearm nice and tight, balance on one leg. 5 big circles in one direction, and then 5 big circles in the other direction, trying to coordinate our hands and our feet together. And then we switch sides. If you need to hold on to something, go ahead and hold on to something. In that case, I'd encourage you to do these separately. Okay, if you find that the balance is too difficult, then hold on to something, do the balance portion, do the foot circles, and then when you're done with the foot circles, let go and do the hand circles. Okay, so obviously we don't want you falling over, but long term, we do want you to continue to develop your balance. Real quick, just going to refresh on my laptop over here so I can see if any comments are coming in. We can also check to see who's on. Cool, we got a hashtag live. Perfect, that tells me you can hear me. Beautiful. All right, then we went into day 2, which is our shoulder circles. We trap down our traps, or tack down our traps, open our hand, and we do our arm circles. 5 big circles backwards, trying to keep our body still, all the motion coming through the shoulder. And then we switch directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then our shoulder power stretches, pressing that arm away from us, keeping it in place with the other. Raise up nice and tall, adding rotation as we go, or pulling the fingers back, any combination thereof. I'm going to do 2 of these today. I'm going to do more later. Think about going and playing golf, or just keeping an eye on the weather. Hopefully the rain moves north of us. Ooh, that one feels good right there. I'm going to hold it for just a moment. I'm always breathing. And then back down. And there's another good spot. Just hang out there for a second. Okay, and then back up. And back down. Then yesterday's new addition, our diver's presses, both arms up top, reach, press, turn the backs of the hands together, turn the palms of the hands together, big sweep down and back, this time left arm on top, overhead, again, as far, we talked about this yesterday, if your arms can only get to here, then only go to there. You can still do this rotation, it doesn't have to be overhead. Only go overhead if your shoulders will let you without your back extending. Okay, very important. If the back extends, you're not actually getting a more effective stretch. Okay, now we're on to day 5, and this is one of the last pieces we're going to do in the shoulders, and then the rest of the routine is going to work through the spine and then down into the hips. Okay, but this last piece is called a flip down, and when we're doing the flip down, we're going to be stretching out the muscles here in the front of the shoulder and the chest. And for many of us, we live in a world where we're slouched, whether we're on a computer or we're talking on the phone, we're driving a car, we're relaxing in a chair. We're usually in this slouch position, and if we slouch, you can see how my shirt now has some creases, some wrinkles in it, because the distance between my shoulder and my neck has shortened. This is rounded. My back has stretched out and the chest has shortened. The chest shortening becomes a big problem. It changes our shoulder mobility. It creates this rounded shoulder. And now yesterday we talked about, hey, put the elbow in line with your shoulder, see how far back this forearm can go. Well, if we round our shoulders like we're texting and try to do that, it doesn't go anywhere. It's stuck. But if we get this chest open, then all of a sudden there's our range of motion, because now the joint works properly. Okay, so the flip down is going to help re-stretch out the muscles in the front of this chest so that the wrinkles in my shirt go away. We don't want a wrinkly shirt. We want a nice taut shirt. That means that our shoulder's going to be in a good position and our back is nice and strong. And that's how we want it to be balanced. So to do a flip down, the most important thing with the flip down is don't let your chest collapse. Okay? If your chest collapses, you will lose this stretch. Awesome, we got Todd on here as well, so the group is growing. We got a few lives. Jerry's on here as well. Awesome, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Especially, I know Jerry, 5 a.m. out on the West Coast. Props, keep it up. All right, so flip downs. We don't want to let this happen. It's a super simple exercise, and what we do is we stand tall, our chest is up. We're going to bring our arms up, and then we're going to pull them down pretty fast and flip our hands back in the bottom position. This pulling down and flipping of the hands stretches and realigns the shoulder. Okay, now how far up, how fast down you go, that's going to be determined by you and your mobility and your range of motion. Okay, so don't feel like you have to go all the way up and down hard just because that's what I'm doing. If you need to, just come here and just do this. Okay, so this is the entry level flip down. Arms are just coming up a little bit, and we flip those hands down. Over time, we can add height. Okay, what I don't want to see, however, is your arms out here. Okay, if my arms are out here and bent, it's not doing anything. The key is to keep them fairly straight. Okay, so you can see my arms are straight the whole time. I don't let my elbows bend. That's really important here. If the elbows bend, you lose the stretch. If your chest collapses, you lose the stretch. Let me move just a little farther away. I'm going to give you an example of some bad ones. Bad ones would be, this isn't doing anything. I don't feel any stretch. Okay? Now, if I can keep my chest tall, but my arms are still kind of bent, I don't really feel anything. It's better than before, but it's still not good. Or if I can keep my chest tall and my arms straight, okay, there it is. Now, I'm getting a really nice stretch in the front of this chest as I pull these hands down. And over time, we're going to get our arms higher. All that does when we go higher is help open your shoulders. Okay? It's not necessary to go high to get the stretch in the front of the chest. Going high just helps lengthen out the muscles down here. It helps you get into an overhead position, because obviously in golf, we eventually need to get this club up here. Okay? To get the club up here, our shoulders need to work right, and these need to be stretched out. We're going to talk more about those in the coming days, but for right now we got our flip downs. And usually we're going to do about 10 to 20 of these. So let's do that together, and then we'll open it up for questions for any of you that are on live. That's right, Sue. Impressive, Jerry. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know Jerry's very dedicated to waking up and starting his day on the right foot. So shout out to Jerry. All right, chest nice and tall. We're going to do 10 to 20 of these together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, obviously, you could do more if you wanted to, but that's the minimum, is 10 to 20. So we are now halfway through this power warm-up routine. Each day, we're going to keep adding a different layer, and then after we've learned each component of the routine, we're going to put it all together, and we're going to spend the remainder of this 30-day challenge building the habit of doing this every day, because that's where our magic starts to happen. Consistency compounds. Again, everybody, if you have any questions, drop them down. My body is cracking from Todd. Yes, absolutely. So Todd, that's not abnormal at all, especially with the shoulder. If we hear some cracking, or if we feel, to quote Jerry, Rice Krispies, right? If you feel or you hear Rice Krispies crackling, or if you feel like your body is making noises, generally that's okay. That just tells us that your joints are realigning and that your muscles are working themselves out. So if you feel or hear anything through the neck and the chest and the shoulder, that is normal. Now, there's a difference between cracking and being painful. Okay, so when you're doing it, it's uncomfortable and it's painful, then you're doing too much. That tells us that your body, it can't move in that range of motion yet. Okay, so we have to work our way into it, which is why we always work within ourselves, kind of like in the golf swing. We don't want to over-swing, we want to swing within ourselves. That's why most players, if they just make a more compact backswing and hold their positions, will hit the ball harder and farther than if they try to get long and come out of their posture. And one of the big reasons that we're doing our mobility is to be able to hold and maintain our posture so we can create a more efficient movement. So when we move better, we play better. So cracking, that's normal. If you hear Rice Krispies through the wrist, through the neck, through the shoulder, again, the general rule is just make sure it doesn't hurt. If it feels sketchy, if it feels painful, that's probably not the right one. Like we talked about on day 2, up here, if you feel pulsing in the neck, that means you're on your jugular, get off of it. And then every so often, some of the things we do, like pushing in right here, you could hit a nerve that makes your arm go numb for just a quick second. That's obviously not the right thing to do. But the big thing here is if we can work within ourselves and if we can maintain a steady breath, then we're probably going to be okay. And that's the key for all of the components throughout this routine, and just power stretching in general is tying the power stretch into the power breath. And we're going to talk more about power breathing later on in the challenge. Right now we're getting the fundamentals of power stretching, but when we combine the power stretching with the power breathing, we're combining the mental and the physical, and we bring them together. So mobility is the centerpiece, and it ties mental and physical through power stretching and power breathing. We're learning those components. We're building that habit. But all to say, don't worry if you hear a couple cracks and clicks and pops. Even I hear cracks and clicks and pops, and there's certain things sometimes, yep, right there, I just got my shoulder to crack, just put my hands together and pushing them, right? I guess my shoulders should open up a little bit. There's all sorts of wonderful things that you're going to start to feel and experience. So great comment there, Todd. I really appreciate that one. Awesome. Let's just refresh the page, see if anything else has come in that maybe I've missed. No, looks like that is it for today, and that is perfect, because as always, we're trying to keep these 5 to 10 minutes. I went a little bit over today, but no worries there. So I'll check you all tomorrow. We'll continue with day 6. Move better, play better.